There are so many times when we talk about these types of phrases, those types of phrases, but it's very few times when we talk about daily life phrases because not all the time we are in different types of conditions. We have to live realistically as well. And in real life, there are multiple phrases that we can use to talk about situations day in and day out. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hridhaan and I welcome you to today's lesson, which is all about 10 smart phrases for daily life conversation. The 10 smart phrases that you can use in your daily life when it comes to making use of the language. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get started. The first phrase that we have in the list today is add insult to injury. Recently, I heard this phrase in a song and I thought, why not actually include it in the lesson today? It basically means to make a bad situation worse. A lot of times it happens that we are doing a task, but inadvertently, by universal forces, something becomes all the more worse. In that situation, we can use add insult to injury. Let's see how we can use it in an example. First, the bathroom flooded, and then, to add insult to injury, a tap started leaking. So, you know what? This is a funny situation that can happen with anybody. Sometimes when it's leaking on top of it, other two taps start to leak, and your bathroom floods up. In that situation, you can say add insult to injury when a situation which is already bad becomes all the more bad. Let us look at the next phrase that we have, and that is a hot potato. It means a problem or situation that is difficult to deal with. A lot of times we have problems in daily life, and when they're difficult to find the solution of, when they're difficult to deal with, we can say it is a hot potato. For example, the recent pandemic has been a hot potato for many countries. Wouldn't you agree? Absolutely. The pandemic that we've gone through, the lockdown situation, the health issues, all of these problems were very difficult to deal with. And that is why we say that those were a hot potato. Let's look at the next example. Racist statement by the actor turned into a hot potato for his PR agency. Every actor has a PR agency that handles their profile. And sometimes when they make a statement which is a little bit political in nature, people tend to make a big issue out of it. And it was very difficult for them to deal with that situation. It was a big problem. So that statement by the actor turned out to be a hot potato. What was a hot potato situation that you dealt with in your time recently? Do let me know in the comment section below. Let us quickly move to the next phrase for daily life conversation. Burn bridges. Imagine there's a bridge between my heart and your heart. If you burn it, what happens? Do we still have that connection? We don't. It kind of has a similar meaning, which means to destroy a relationship, unintentionally or intentionally sometimes. For example, she has already burned bridges with her relatives by marrying against their wishes. Well, a lot of times when your loved ones do not approve of a match, and if you still marry the person that you love, sometimes that destroys relationship, and that is burning bridges. Next example is, mind your words when you get angry. You would be burning bridges with many people. Very nice sentence. Whenever you're angry, you end up saying things that shouldn't have been said. And in those situations, it possibly is rude when to the other person when they hear it. In that situation, we say, mind your words because you might end up burning bridges. This was about burning bridges. It is time for us to look at the next one, and that is miss a boat. It means to lose an opportunity or miss an opportunity. For example, she missed the boat when she did not apply for the job in time. Holds very true, especially during COVID-19 pandemic when a lot of people are applying for jobs because they lost their jobs. If you do not apply in time, you miss an opportunity. You miss the opportunity, you miss the boat. Next example is, frankly, he's missed the boat with Michelle. Possibly Michelle is one of your friends and possibly you were thinking of proposing to Michelle, but sadly Michelle ended up marrying another man. This was about missing a boat. Let us move to the next phrase for daily conversation. Get out of hand. When a situation gets out of hand, it gets out of control. I'm sure you must have known this phrase before as well. Let us have a look at an example. When the police arrived, they realized the protest was getting out of hand. A lot of times there are various sorts of protests going on, especially in free countries, because people want to change something. In that case, the police realized that the protest was going out of hand. It was becoming more aggressive and it was getting bigger. So, out of control. The next one that we have is he went to see the dentist because he felt his toothache was getting out of hand. Possibly the ache, the pain was uncontrollable. And so you're saying that the toothache here basically means the pain in your teeth was getting out of hand and so out of control. The next phrase for daily phrases that we have for today is see eye to eye. That means to agree with each other. When you say do not see eye to eye, that means do not agree with the person or the situation. For example, my sister don't see eye to eye with me on a lot of issues. That means my sister does not agree. That means my sisters do not agree with me on a lot of issues in daily life. This takes us to the next example of see eye to eye, and that is, although they work as a team, they often don't see eye to eye on most issues. So that basically means they're one team, but a lot of times they do not agree with each other on a lot of things. Let's quickly move on to so far, so good. Very interesting phrase, which means to say that things have been happening successfully until now. For example, if somebody asks you, so hey Hridhaan, how are you? Then Hridhaan says, so far, so good. Thank you. That means everything is fine so far. For example, how's your new job? It's fine. Until now, everything has been good. So far, so good. Next example, how's your home interiors going? Probably there are some interior work, interior work going on. So you say, there's a lot more to do, but so far, so do. A lot of work is left, but so far, so good. This was about so far, so good. Next is over the moon. Imagine if you're jumping in excitement. And if you jump over the moon, that means, figuratively speaking, you are extremely happy, to be very happy. For example, she was over the moon when she topped her exam. Next, Jane was over the moon when Tom asked her to marry him. Jane was extremely happy when her lover asked her to marry him. Next one is once in a blue moon. I'm sure you must have heard this phrase before because people use that in daily life, which is all about something that happens not very often, something that happens rarely. My sister lives in America, so I only see her once in a blue moon. She travels not 10 times in a year. She travels just once in a year. So I see her only once in a year, and therefore I see her once in a blue moon. And this phrase also comes from the fact that the blue moon night occurs once in 6 months. So we end up saying once in a blue moon. You can't get fluent in English by practicing it once in a blue moon. Such an important sentence. If you want to get fluent at English, it's very important for you to continue speaking it every single day. Making it your lifestyle is most important. Watching videos, making use of them in daily life is what is really required in the situation. This was all about all the daily life phrases that you can make use of to sound fluent. Most importantly, make sure you use sentences. You make sentences using these phrases in the comment section because do you know I read them all? Please take care and I'll see you soon.